Hi guys, and welcome to our regular Tuesday show. Zahir hasn't logged in yet, so I've sent him the link. I've just texted him. There's a massive fly buzzing around in here. It's going to annoy the hell out of me. Don't know if you can hear that. Massive great thing. Yeah, so hopefully Zahir will be along in a minute. I'm just going to see if my mic is switched on. Always helps. Oh yeah, that should be working. Okay. Save that. Right, yeah, so welcome aboard. Like I say, hopefully Z will be with us shortly. I did just message him and I've sent him the link, so that's all good. Right, let's see. There's a load of people popping in to say hello. We'll quickly see who was in first. Lucy was in first, and then Southwest Sellers, which is Gary, hi, and then Chelsea, Panzer, Andrew, Jason, Jay, Lisa, Malinky, Old Haggis Hunter. Oh, hang on. Weather report. Greetings from the land of random downpours, continual gusty wind, and a mysterious outburst of sunshine known as Scotland. Yeah, the weather here is similar. It can't make its mind up. At the moment, it's glorious, but we get little showers that blow over. So yeah, hi everyone. Welcome aboard. We don't have a guest this week. We are hoping to have a guest on next week. So it's just going to be myself and Zahir, if I can track him down, just chewing the fat and talking about Tat. So let's see who else has popped in. Funky Monkey, Dr. Doodle-Doo. Lonnie's in there saying it sounds good. Thanks, Lonnie. MC Cool is saying, anyone grabbed some of the Lego deals in Asda today? Lots of sets reduced. Haven't really been out of the house. Today, I've mostly been trying to get my head around merch. I've been approved for Amazon merch in America. And yeah, didn't get too far today. We've got a load of ideas that we want to put in. But yeah, here he comes.
Hi, everybody. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Got a bit caught up. How is everyone?
Not a problem, Z. Yeah, we're good. I was just saying hello to people in the chat. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Let me just get myself situated.
That we lost a lot of the day today just trying to get our heads around merch, about how all that works.
All right. Oh, you got approved for your merch account. Yeah.
So coming up with the ideas and the designs is the easy bit. It's getting your head around the whole system and how it works and what we can and can't do with copyright and stuff. So yeah.
Is that for like the US Amazon though?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
When it was first announced, I didn't bother applying for the US one. We only applied like just around Christmas time, I think, because I assumed they were going to roll it out in the UK because it was such a big deal over there. It's done so well. I thought I'll just wait for the UK one because a lot of the stuff I want to do will be kind of niche to the UK, I think.
Yeah, I think it's about like understanding the culture, I suppose, isn't it? Like the nuances, especially if you're trying to tap into like, you know, certain types of designs or whatever. You know, that could be a difference to, but that could be a hurdle to overcome being a UK person.
Yeah. I think what we're hoping to do, and this is where the nuances of copyright comes into it, is band related merch. Well, obviously not using band names, but using lyric quotes or fan based things they would understand are relative to a particular band, but aren't infringing any copyright. But then you can't, from what I found out so far, you can't use the band name in your tags either. So you would have to promote the t-shirt links yourself to fan sites and other stuff. So yeah, we've come up with a few niches that we're going to work on and maybe build up a, you know, like a Twitter account and a Facebook, and then promote directly our shirts to fans who then go to merch and buy them.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but whether that'll work out or whatever. And I'm struggling to be able to browse merch and see what's available on there. It's really odd.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I think Beck's shown a bit of interest in this whole thing, merch, and she I think she wants to sign up for an account. I'm not sure it's something that's appealed to me personally. It's not something that I can't even remember if I did apply for an account or not, because I remember everyone saying, "Oh yeah, apply for an account," back in when it was on the UK resellers forum Facebook page. And I don't know. I suppose it's like, this is where you have to be a bit of a creative kind of person, I suppose, rather than, I wouldn't,
to an extent.
Yeah.
I think I don't think we're going to go big into complicated designs. We're talking about maybe doing lyric-based T-shirts. So it would be a lyric from a song, like with Depeche Mode, for example. I could come up with 50 shirts in half an hour based on lyrics or things that only true Depeche Mode fans would understand. And that's the sort of shirt I love, the fact that people wouldn't get it unless you're a fan. But the fact that you can't use a band name like Depeche Mode as a tag or in the shirt means you have to write it in.
Well, the thing is, if you're a fan of something, though, it's not as big an obstacle as you might think, because I think a lot of fans for whatever items will search directly for what you're talking about, like if they're in the know. So, for example, like, I don't know, like if you're into Walking Dead, and you're a Negan fan, I'd search, I actually Googled, shut that down, no exceptions, because it's such an epic line in the show. It's this what he says before he deals with someone, and it's just something that it's something that you might actually directly search for. So it's not necessarily that all is lost if you can't use the actual band name in the tag. So maybe it will still be, because obviously if you're talking about things that, for example, that go on at concerts, when people have certain chants, or if you're a football fan, what the local chants are at your ground, you're appealing to that,
Yeah, that's the sort of thing we're going to try. And then I need to super clarify whether using an excerpt from a lyric or a line from a song avoids copyright, because I'm not 100% sure. I've seen loads of T-shirts made like that, but I don't know whether they're only sold off, unofficially through other channels. But anyway, yeah, we spent hours just getting our heads around how the whole thing works and didn't really get anywhere. So that was fun. Let's see what's going on. There's lots of chatter in here.
Hi to everyone in the chat. Yeah, I'm sorry I was a little bit late. I just got completely sidetracked. So I was doing something, and I need to turn the notifications back on my phone. I've actually really enjoyed having it completely off. Like, I was talking to you earlier about this, wasn't I? It's like, is it on silent? I'm like, no, this is like a next level mode. You may as well just not have the phone. It's really good. It doesn't tell you anything. It's
yeah. So you went incognito.
Off mode. Yeah, I went into off mode.
He's a hard man to track down. Yeah. Laura Stubbs. I think it's Laura, spelt with a W, that has a YouTube channel. I was watching a video earlier of hers. I think that's right. Yeah, so go over and check that out if you haven't already. She says, so glad you're doing a live show, currently sorting through hundreds of badges. Sounds cool.
Yes, yeah, sounds interesting. It depends what kind of badges, I suppose. Again, if you're into that kind of thing, it might be fun to sit and sort through. I mean, I saw Ben shared a Lego haul that he picked up again. He's picked up another epic, Lego haul, and he had all the booklets lined up. Stacks of them, and I just thought, okay, better you than me, mate. But that's just it. He loves that stuff. So same with Rebecca. I can just, if I bought Lego, she'd be all over it. I mean, she loves that stuff, and I'm like, I don't get it.
I've still not sorted the big Lego haul I had about a month ago. But my nephew David has decided he's not going to finish his A-levels, and he's going to go and do a different course which starts after summer. But for these next 6 weeks or whatever it is, he has to be seen to be doing something productive. So he's doing loads and loads of work placements, So he's coming to work with me for a week.
Oh, wow. That would be fun.
I'm going to basically play Lego with my nephew for a week and sort all of that out, and use his time to help me set up all these sets and sort them all out. So yeah, that'll be fun. And he gets to do work experience playing with Lego. So that'd be cool. Blitz says, jammy git, Nick. I'm still waiting for approval. Yeah, ours came through about a week ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, yeah, if you've applied, eventually it will happen. And maybe when it happens in the UK, it will become more available.
Yeah, I hope
I think, like with anything, it's about, a lot of people are excited about it, but I think you've got to be excited if you're prepared to do the relevant work. I mean, if you think about how many people are going to be flooding the marketplace in general with how many designs, like you said, you guys have been talking and thinking about how you're going to promote your specific items to get them out there. Now, a lot of people are going to think, probably, yeah, I don't know how they get this impression, but generally, I think it just seems to be that sometimes people hear what they want to hear, and that they see every new opportunity as a silver bullet. Whether that's reselling in general, whether that's Amazon FBA or eBay or selling on Facebook or anything, it can be distilled and simplified unrealistically. So it looks like it's just an easy thing to do. So this new thing's come out, merch, everyone's going merch crazy talking about merch, but it's like any other opportunity that already exists, which basically means that if you don't put in the extra work, it's not going to magically pile cash in your account. You're still going to have to put the graft in. And I think
I think you're totally right. And my first thought with merch is, how are people going to find my shirts in that sea of shirts? So we instantly thought, we'll think outside of the box, go very hyper niche, and basically create Twitter, Facebook accounts and whatever, talking about certain bands, lyric t-shirts, whatever we're going to do, and then join other Facebook groups, join other forums, and promote ourselves. Put them on Amazon. So Amazon are going to make the t-shirts, Amazon are going to ship them. That's dealt with. Our job then, this is the way I see it, is to
help people find them.
Create links and go for it. And also, the links will be affiliated. Create affiliate links, so you earn a little tiny affiliate cut as well. Hopefully that'll work.
Yeah. Oh wow. Just saw a comment there. Electronic Firing Squad says, listing an insane amount of sealed American SNES and NES games. Taking a quick break to catch the chat. Sealed SNES and NES games. Surely they've got to be worth some.
Yeah, they'll be big bucks.
Have they got the Nintendo strip though? Because I have a GameCube game, which is it's an American one. It's not a very good game, so it wouldn't have been very valuable anyway. And I think what was it? It was oh gosh, that movie where people use getaways in minis, classic movie. Italian Job, yeah. I think it was the Italian Job on the GameCube. So it's not a very good game anyway, but it's an NTSC game, so it's an American version. It's sealed, but unlike the UK versions, the American versions didn't actually have Nintendo strips on them. And so so isn't that weird? Because I looked it up and I was like, apparently they don't. And obviously because of that, there's a lot of fakery going on with people resealing them and things like that, because they don't have that strip to create. There's a certain way of telling because of the way it's folded at the edges or something like that. And I was like, oh, screw that. It's not worth messing around with.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to be careful with that. Oh, Lisa says, yay, Bagpuss has returned. Yeah, he gets a few mentions, so I thought I'd have him in. And also, Monty's here. He's asleep now, but I'll show him at the end. You may have seen some pictures on our Facebook. He's had his summer haircut, so he looks like a puppy now. He looks kind of bald compared to what he was. Right, let's catch up in here. We don't have a particular theme. We were going to talk a little bit. When I spoke to Zahir on the phone earlier, we were talking a little bit about stock and about the different ways of approaching turning over stock. So we might dabble into that a little bit. But if you've got any questions or topics, stick them in the chat. There's one there actually. Well, first off, Maria Clark says, "Hi Nick, have you heard of Redbubble? It's similar to Amazon Merch, I think." Yeah, there's a few, and Teespring and those. I think I'm going to start with Amazon Merch and see how that goes, but then I might branch out and use the other sites, because I want to do t-shirts that can ship to the UK cheaply and easily, because of course Amazon Merch is in America. It's not going to be cheap to order a shirt to the UK. So really I'm promoting to the American market. But we'll see. And then there's a question about wages from doing it yourself lifestyle. How do you guys go about taking wages, and do the wives get the same pay grade? How do you go about?
We don't really have wages. It's just as and when is needed. You take what as little as you can is the wage. You know, the minimum running costs of paying the bills, the food, all that kind of stuff. We don't really, I mean, I don't have haircuts. That saves some money. We don't buy new clothes. We don't, there's lots of things we don't do that most people do as standard. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. I mean, I might have a few like hobbies and stuff, but even those are cheap because of how I do them, in the sense of, I get into hobbies based on what I find at the boot fairs. So, like I'm into my RC stuff now, but only because I found an RC helicopter at the boot sale. There's no way I'd go out and spend the money required.
Yeah.
Although I may start spending some money now, but
that's the point is the job, though, isn't it? You get to find all this cool stuff, and then sometimes I'll keep it for a while, like all the SNES stuff. I've still got most of that here, apart from a few bits that I sent to FBA last week. But yeah, you get to keep really cool stuff and play with it, and sometimes that will turn, like you just said, into a hobby or an interest. But quite often I'll just play with cool stuff for a while and then sell it when I'm done.
Exactly.
But as for taking a wage, we've never really taken a specific wage, similar to what you were saying, Zahir. We kind of take out what we need when we need it. And we've always been a proponent of reinvesting what you can in your business. That comes first, and then we take what we need when we need it. So, and that really helped to build the businesses we've had over the years. Is being quite frugal and not having a lavish lifestyle has meant we can reinvest most of what we make into the businesses, and then they grow that much quicker.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I think a lot of people can learn from, is someone like Scavenger Life. We talk about them often, but it depends really on how you see your reselling, whether you just see it as a job or whether you see it as a lifestyle. If you have a job, then you expect a wage from it. But if it's a lifestyle, then it kind of goes into other things, doesn't it? So it means that you don't necessarily feel the need to take a specific amount as a wage for the work that you've done. You just, like you said, just take what you need and that's it.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. I guess part of our payment is the lifestyle that we enjoy. That's a huge perk in itself.
Yeah, and you can only have that by being thrifty or frugal, or however you want to put it, or just spending your money differently. So
Lonnie's saying that Americans wearing UK vernacular on their t-shirts would be quite ironic. Hipsters will love it. I did think about that, doing shirts based, kind of selling to expats or ex people from the UK that are now in America, like shirts that they would understand, that with UK phrases on and stuff. That may be a niche that we'll explore as well. But again, my instant thought is, how would they find them? What search term would they use to find a shirt which is a UK phrase or something?
Yeah, I know, it's a difficult one. I mean, for example, would Bazinga be copyrighted? Just out of interest, that's from that's what the phrase. I mean, I've seen loads of t-shirts, official merchandise t-shirts anyway. So I'm not saying it would be a good idea to do it, but I'm just wondering, because it's just a word from the show. What's that show called? I can't remember. Oh God. You know that show with Penny and Raj and oh god, I can't remember any of their names
Oh,
now. You know that they're all clever and Penny's
yeah,
like
the geeky
the
ones.
regular person, and Big Bang Theory. That's it. Big
Yes.
Bang Theory. Yeah. You know. So I was wondering, like, yeah, Sheldon says bazinga, doesn't he? I think, and
I doubt that could be copyrighted because it's just a word, isn't it? It's not.
well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes they can be though, can't they? I'm not sure, but that would be interesting to know whether you could just have, because I've seen all these Bazinga t-shirts which are done in the style of like the Flash, because obviously the Flash is like his favorite character. So you know, I've seen those official shirts, but obviously if you did a different design of Bazinga, I mean, how would that work? I mean, I was wondering if that would. Just a
There's
thought.
so much potential just with phrases and words and parts of sentences and stuff. And I was just thinking when Lonnie was saying about English, targeting English people in America, you could do a very specific shirt, which is an Englishman in New York, which is based on the song that Sting did. And you know how many?
Well, it's a sentence. Well, I mean, here's a comment from Liv Keen says, "I highly doubt you're avoiding copyright issues by using snippets of lyrics, etc. All original work is protected by copyright." Now, I completely agree with that. Because obviously you don't want to fall foul of it. But then it can just become a sentence, can't it? I mean, you know, an Englishman in New York can't be, though, that order of those words cannot be owned by Sting or his record company, can it? I mean, obviously we all know that it's, you know, we all know it, as in, you know, if you say an Englishman in New York, immediately you're going to think Sting, but surely, you know,
it's a grey area that I really need to look into. I need
yeah.
to message Margaret and see if she's come across these issues and find out. But it would be, yeah, it must be hard to copyright
Because that's such a popular song, isn't it? But it's also just a sentence. It's an English sentence. An Englishman in New York. But
yeah, okay.
As soon as you say it, that's an interesting
look
one.
into that and find out. I hope we can do it. But even if we can't, yeah, we've actually thought about this in the past and about doing it ourselves and creating lyric T-shirts and promoting those directly to niche forums of bands and fan pages and stuff.
Yeah.
So we may do it another way, but yeah.
And Zoe Lee says, I would buy a Tat Chat shirt. So there you go.
Yeah, we've thought about doing other ones. There's a couple of designs we've thought about based on reselling that we could promote ourselves. The trouble is, like I said, I'm approved on Amazon Merch US, and most of my viewers or our viewers are based in the UK. And I don't know what the extra shipping is to get it shipped over. So I need to find a UK supplier that can print and make them. Anyway, where were we? Let's move on from merch. We could. I've not even designed one T-shirt and got it up there yet, and I'm waffling on about merch.
David Morse has put quite an important bit of info in the chat as well. He says that expect Xbox original games to go up in value. It's just been announced at E3 that they're adding backwards compatibility for them on Xbox One. So if you mean, I think it means Xbox original. So that
first Xbox.
Yes, Xbox original. Yeah.
So
that would be
the classic, like Halo
original, and
Halo 2 was that was Xbox first.
Halo 2 was Xbox as well. Halo 3 was Xbox 360. Halo 2 was Xbox.
Yeah.
So that would be quite interesting if that does happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see as many Xbox original games anyway. I mean, they're still not valuable as such, though, are they? I mean, but after this, they may well could shoot up in value. That's really great information there from David.
Yeah. I was just Joe's in there. Joe Penny's.
Oh, hi, Joe.
Oh, he's been away on holiday by the look of it.
Oh, there's a surprise.
He loves his holidays. Fair play to him. So more talk about Xbox there. Blake says, I've bought a couple of copies of Simpsons Hit and Run this week for PS2. Sells good. Yeah. It's a quick seller. I sold a couple on Amazon last week. I think I was getting about £10 each on Amazon FBA for them.
What game is that, sorry?
Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh, Hit and Run, yeah.
Nick, why not use the power of YouTube to sell t-shirts? Yeah, definitely. We'll try that. As I was saying, Lonnie, most of our viewers are UK based. I do have a lot of American viewers. So I'm not sure if people in the UK are going to want to order from the .com Amazon is my issue there. But I may use a UK based t-shirt printer to do some Tat related merch. We talked about doing that up to about a year ago and just never, you know what life is like. Life gets in the way and we're so busy constantly. It's just something I've never done. Amanda says, it's okay, Nick. It's good to hear folk talking about something other than politics. Yeah.
Who's talking about
that? Not us.
Not us. No. Question, when are you going to show us the attic? Says Crap in the Attic.
Great name there, Crap in the Attic. Yeah, that's my issue. It's full of crap. I doubt that's happening, to be honest. I need to fix the lights up there. I managed to smash a strip light up there. Yeah, and I need to sort all the lighting out and have a good tidy up. There's broken glass all over the place because I was moving stuff around. I set up 2 lots of strip lights up there and smashed one of the bulbs. And yeah, I've got to do a lot of work up there to even consider showing you guys the mess that is my loft. Adrian Woods, what's that? Question, been watching 10K on the Bay. What's that? Oh, is that a YouTuber?
I guess so, yeah. I think I've heard that name, yeah.
Regarding inventory, do you guys put inventory numbers in listing descriptions, etc.? Have you done that?
I haven't. I don't normally need to. If you were dealing in a lot of like small items that could take a while to dig through and find, then I could see the benefit of that. You know, say for example, if you're doing badges and you've got thousands or hundreds of badges, you probably would need some kind of a system to tell you where, which, you know, stack are. But because of the kind of items that I'm generally selling, I don't need to.
You guys have a storage container system, so do you not have storage number?
Beck has that for clothes. Yeah, she does it for clothes, and she just does it by, at the moment, she just does it by the name of the brand. So she separates them into tops and bottoms, and then she separates them, just, you know, she's got boxes splitting the alphabet up, and she just chucks them in there and finds them that way, because we're limited with how many storage containers we've got, because we didn't really set up for it. If you know, we just used, again, with reselling, you just use what you've got, don't you? You see what's around you and you make do. So we haven't gone out and gotten enough boxes to do it in a more organized way, because you could probably do it, you know, much more kind of specific. You could do it a lot more targeted, couldn't you? You could have like, you know, just jeans in a separate section, and then, you know, then within that you could organize them or whatever. But it seems to work fine. She never has any issue finding anything, so works pretty good.
When we were just doing clothes, we just used to polybag everything and just write a reference number on, and we'd have that in brackets at the end of each title, and then they were just racked in numerical order. And then as numbers were taken out, we would just spy a gap and reuse that number and write it on the bag and do it that way. But then with things like Lego, I've got little cabinets with numbered and lettered drawers in, like this sort of stuff. So I just have a reference number for the Lego parts. There's some stuff that's listed now. And with postcards, I haven't listed many postcards for a long time, but I listed a whole collection of a few hundred going back a couple of years. And I just had them in envelopes, and then I'd have a written on reference number. And at the end of the title, I just have in brackets number 110 or number 5 or whatever, and then sit them all in the box. So it's not difficult to do. It just takes that little bit of thought and that little bit of organization at the beginning to get things set up, and then it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
But it can save you so much time. We've all been there where we've lost an item and you've lost an hour driving yourself insane trying to find it. I mean, all my listed stock is now on a couple of racks down here, and I haven't even got organized enough to do it. What I wanted to do was have numbered shelves, and I've never got around to that. And now I'm getting more and more listed, I wish I'd started that system.
I think
yeah.
it's times like that where you do, but it's so difficult with the amount of different things that you sell. It's not easy to just something as simple as just racking or stacking something up. It depends on what it is that you're racking and stacking. I mean, if there are items that you can, like for example, like you said, put in a poly bag and they're all a uniform shape and size, it's a lot easier to do. When you're selling, all different shapes and sizes and types of item, it's a different situation.
Yeah, my stuff, it's so random at the moment. The sort of varied amount of things I'm listing, they just get thrown on those shelves, and because they're so varied and odd, I can find them pretty easily. It's when you start dealing with the small stuff that I have to have a system, because I
definitely
lose stuff so quickly. I just saw another question in there. This is Al's Attic. Question: opened an eBay shop 3 days ago and have since had the best 3 days ever. Do you guys think eBay boosts listings of shops, or is it a temporary boost or a fluke? It might just be, depending on whether you're listing lots of very similar items. What people do, and I do this when I'm buying, is I'll find an item I'm interested in and I'll click on that person's shop and then browse what else they've got, especially if you offer postage discounts. That encourages people to browse within your shop, and then you get extra sales on the back of that. So it might be that, the fact that people can now browse in your shop. Don't know.
I mean, I think if it's good that you've had 3 great days and you've opened the shop 3 days ago, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's a fluke or a temporary boost. It's probably just some good days of sales. I think that the trick is to prepare yourself for when you're not getting the sales, because those days will also happen. No matter how well you do, you can go to any reseller that's been doing it for a while, even people that are established, such as again, I'll talk about Scavenger Life because they are that epic. Even they've talked about times where they've had absolutely atrocious sales and they've got thousands and thousands of items listed. And then there are other days where they smash it, and it's just part of it. So enjoy it, and just make it run as long as possible. But just be aware of the other side as well, is what I'd say. Not to put a downer on it, but not to. Joe actually had a question. Joe's reselling for pennies. Question: do you change / concentrate on specific things at different times of year, or do you just list as and when you get items?
I do hold back a lot for fourth quarter, or stuff that is like Christmas based. You can see it building up here. And that's always worked for me, because you all know the sort of stuff I pick up. I love my toys and games, board games, that sort of stuff. And a lot of that, if I listed it now, I'd struggle to get half of what I'd get in December. So it depends what you're selling, I think. And then certain clothing items obviously will sell quicker at certain times of the year. But we're finding right now with Andrea, with what she's doing, she's selling out of season clothes quite well. We sold a really thick baby all-in-one pram suit like last week, like the hottest few days we've had. We sold this really thick, warm baby pram suit. So obviously somebody was going away somewhere cold, I assume. And right now you can't buy those in the shops. So there's that side of it as well. But yeah, do you hold stuff back, Z? Or
I've not really looked into that. But again, I think that's more because of what I pick up. I kind of tend to just list it. I mean, some stuff inadvertently gets left back, but that's not like on purpose. That's just me being lazy and not listing stuff. And then I happen to list it around Christmas or whatever. But no.
Yeah, there's a lot of that goes on here as well.
Yeah.
But gets put on a shelf and forgotten about. There's too much of that goes on here.
I mean, like you said, though, it depends very much, doesn't it, on the kind of items you're picking up, and how much you can make at different times of year for it.
Yep. Right, let me catch up in here. Matt Morris was saying, Nick Hill's Tat Chat t-shirts, U and Z's faces on them. Nobody wants to see that.
No, I don't think so. I think that would be very popular.
There's a couple of designs, I won't say them now, about just phrases to do a reselling that I think would be really cool, that I do want to produce at some point.
Peter Cummins, just to counter the point I made earlier, said he went from a basic to a featured shop 2 days ago and sales have plummeted. But again, I wouldn't say it's plummeted because it's gone to a featured shop. It's very easy to, I think it's really easy to look for reasons why things tank sometimes.
Yeah, you can correlate things that aren't actually connected.
I think. I mean, to give you guys an example, I think I've had like some of my worst sales in the last couple of days. Like I think I almost had 3 0 sales days in a 7-day period, and that hasn't happened. I mean, I didn't have that happen when I had like 100 items listed, you know, but then randomly the next day you sell like 300 quid's worth of stuff, and then you can't suddenly, you know, and it makes up for those days, really, doesn't it, where you didn't do anything. So I think it's a case of again looking at it over a monthly and / yearly basis rather than a daily / weekly.
Yeah,
or weekly you can obviously do, but
yeah, we had a crap couple of days. Today so far has been pretty crap as well. Yesterday I think we only did about £50 on eBay, but mine kind of goes in waves because I concentrate on Amazon for a week and then go back to eBay and vice versa. So our Amazon sales have shot up because 2 boxes hit the warehouse a couple of days ago and that stuff's going really well. So yeah, it's really up and down for us. But you do have to look at your monthly figures as well. And if your monthly figures are increasing or just staying the same, then you know you're doing something right. It's when your monthly numbers are down, then you need to look at what you're doing. Yeah, look at it on a bigger scale, because if you might try and micromanage, it's like, oh, I've not had any sales today, what am I doing wrong? You're just going to be panicking about things that aren't really relevant.
Yeah, and the worst thing you can do in those cases is then you start cutting your prices, and then you sit there and think, why have I reduced that? I know it's worth more. Why, you know, it's and it still won't sell, and then you just reduced it, and then when it sells, you'll have sold it for less. When if you'd left it at your previous price, it would have gone at that anyway.
Oh, I'm so far behind. They're talking about people are saying Big Bang Theory, Big Bang Theory.
Oh my god, yeah.
About 20 minutes ago. Let me scroll down. Hang on, I just passed a question. Oh, Joe, different Joe, my Pack Rat Joe says sporting items sell during the season. Yeah, so when certain, like the football season, sell football stuff. Like football boots go really well when schools go back after summer, I think it is. There's a certain window where everyone's thinking, oh God, my son's going to school, his feet are bigger. We sell football boots so quick whenever that period is. So yeah, think about that, certainly. Doing it yourself lifestyle question. Nick's room looking full. Is space an issue, and what's the limit? We need to see Z-Man's stockroom. It's been a while.
Oh, you don't want to see my stock.
Space is definitely an issue, and it is for every reseller, I think. And I said this before, my problem, I've got 2 problems. I enjoy buying stuff, and I buy it when I don't necessarily need any more stock. The other problem is what we do is an opportunist market, and you don't know when the next really good haul of stuff's going to come along. So if you think, oh, you know, I haven't got a lot of space in the office today, I'm going to pass up this gaming haul, which I could have easily done when all those games came along. I had plenty of stock to be going on with. I could have said, I don't have the space, I'll leave it. And I would have missed out on that epic sale, for example, let alone all the other stuff, which was really great. So I've always thought an opportunity is a tiny window. That's how I see it. And if you don't take it there and then, it's gone.
Yeah,
so
completely.
It can lead to stock problems. Like this.
Thing is, yeah, I mean, you're always going to be battling on it. If you're always sourcing, it's constant, isn't it? So in an ideal world, it would be as soon as you pick up your list, but it doesn't work like that.
See, just commenting on selling out of season clothes. She says, Nick, yes, I've sold 4 heavy kids coats this week that I stored away in the shed, 3 to the UK and 1 to Peru. So yeah, our weather is now a bit touch and go today, but generally it's been really, really warm. And who's buying these thick winter coats? But it's always cold somewhere and it's always hot somewhere. All that sun cream I sold through the winter. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. There's been some comments about the trade. It apparently phrases are trademarked. So it's okay. It's the R that's important. Yeah, apparently it's I think apparently phrases are trademarked, and someone's actually put a link of some trademarked phrases. And apparently Bazinga has a trademark number as well. Wow, I don't know. It seems pretty complicated.
So we really need to look into whether any of our thoughts are going to work then. It might just be Tat's t-shirts, Tat-related t-shirts. Make up our own phrases. That's maybe the only way we can go.
Oh, wow. The Adrian Woods lives in Purley. I know where that is. I used to live around or close. He asks, do you still miss Southeast car boots? Do you think it would be worth driving down every other weekend to do a crazy car boot road trip? Me and Beck have talked about it an awful lot. The problem is at the moment we can't afford for her to leave her job at the moment. She does like 3 days a week. And I think this week she's actually doing 4 days. And we do at the moment where our costs are, etc. We need her to be working. And as soon as we can kind of, kick that on the head, then yes, we would love to be doing road trips, because I don't know if they're better or not, but sometimes grass always seems greener on the other side. I mean, we found some great stuff up here, and we used to find some great stuff down south. And I did really enjoy going around the boot sale when we were down there just past week. But yeah, I think we would do it just for more the fun of it.
Yeah, I just want to read Darren Orell's comment. He says, Nick, the only way you're going to make money with t-shirts selling is if you make the t-shirts yourself, because this merch thing is nothing new really. There's websites all over the place that do the same thing. I'd have to disagree on that. I was talking to Margaret the other day. Well, she said it in a video. She's up to $1,000 a month on merch. And bear in mind, all you have to do is create the little GIF or what, not GIF, like JPEG or whatever, and upload it, and your work is done. You get a commission on that. So you don't hold any stock. You don't have any other outlay. You just get your whatever it is, $5 a t-shirt or something. And that is pretty much passive income. If you go the other route, which we have done, remember going back a year and a half, we had t-shirts printed up when we had our kids' clothing shop. And that's a lot of money up front because there's minimum orders involved. You have to buy the stock. You then have to pay the printers, and you have to order X amount. It's not like you can go to them and say, I'll have one of those, please, because the numbers don't make sense. And so we were heavily invested in that stock, and it was a lot of work. And yeah, I would say merch does work because it's virtually passive income. That's the point of it.
Virtually, though, because the work is done, like you said, promoting and getting that. I keep on having to say that because when you said, you can make $1,000 a month, you could probably make 2, you could probably make 5, but it depends how many hours you're putting in there.
Yeah,
but the people that are making those numbers are probably out there constantly making sure that their links are on every possible platform where they'd have customers.
Yeah, the whole phrase passive income is a dangerous one to use because we all know
such thing.
If it was that easy, we'd all be doing it, whatever it is. And these people that are trying to sell schemes on making a fortune, there's probably an advert that ran before we started chatting of a guy sitting on a deck chair saying, hey, buy my course and you can sit on the beach with your laptop.
Wondering why I'm sat out here in the
the reality is that
wondering why the top 3 buttons of my shirt are undone.
That's right.
You too.
The reality of it is, in any field, is that you have to put the legwork in. And even if one of these schemes works, what they're not telling you is you still have to put in X and Y amount of work up front to set it up. You know what I mean? That passive income exists, but it exists after all the work. I think that's what I would say. Right, where are we at? I think I'm still miles behind on here.
I was further behind than you. I was like, where the hell are these comments? And I scrolled down, and they were like miles down. I'm like, geez, it's worse than you.
Somebody was asking about, can you sell used stuff on FBA? Yes, you can. And I do sell a fair bit of used stuff. You have to be very, very honest about condition and stuff, as you do selling any used stuff anywhere. Right, let's see if I can find any more questions. How long have we been going, actually? Oh, blimey, 45 minutes in already. CYBK. Yeah. Oh, I was just going to read the question there. I've been making rookie mistakes. That one.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Going to the car boot sales, it says sellers 6 a.m., retailers 8. I've turned up at 8. Every other buyer turns up at God knows what time. Yeah, you have to work out what's the earliest point you can get in. Definitely.
Yeah, early as possible. Most of the time, the times are just they're inaccurate. You just turn up when the sellers turn up. That's pretty much the right time. Unless they specifically say that, you know, there's no entry or whatever.
Yeah. And I've said this before. I know guys that are really hardcore. They'll do anything to get in. They go down the queue of sellers, asking if they've got a spare seat in their car, and they buy a seat in that car to get through the gates at the beginning.
That is pretty crazy.
There's ways. I've not done that myself, but I've considered it.
And not to mention the old, you know, they set up a stall, and then just hoover up, and then you see them not even setting anything up and just driving off.
Yeah. Peter Cummins says, is it possible to view the chat if not watching live? No, the live chat will end when the live stream ends. So if you want to see the chat or take part in it, yeah, you need to watch live. Someone just asked, can you do merch if you're not on FBA? I think you can. I don't think you have to be an FBA seller to do it. Maybe wrong, but I don't think so.
Yeah, you have to be approved to do it, though. So you'd have to do your application and wait for them to get back to you.
Yeah, it's kind of like an invitation only thing. So you let them know you're interested, and then they give you the invite. I don't know what they're talking about there. Oh, Darren's replied to me, I think. But at the end of the day, if one of your designs is selling really well at, say, £15, and I just make and sell it for 10 and make £6, so yours is always going to get undercut by t-shirt makers. But it's up to you to try it. Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not a t-shirt maker. I'm somebody who sells secondhand tat in my garage. You know, so what platforms like Merch allow is somebody who is very busy doing their day job to tap into another income stream without having to go through all of the palaver of printing your own t-shirts. And that's the point of it to me. Yeah, I know I could make more money if I became a t-shirt printer, but that's not what I do. So
it's more about creating the designs, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a way of tapping into another revenue stream without too much work and without holding the stock or having investment in it. That's what it offers to me. But yeah, you're totally right. You could make more margin if you did it yourself, but then you've got to get yourself set up as a t-shirt maker.
I wonder if there's any eyebrows on fleek t-shirts. There's this like viral video of a lady saying her eyebrows were on fleek. It's like apparently it means her eyebrows were spot on. That was it. It was slang, and I just wonder if there's a T-shirt for that actually.
Yeah, you could just have like a pair of eyebrows.
And on fleek. Yeah, that would be. I know people would buy that. They would definitely buy that. Someone's probably already doing it, but
if you can get in on trends and current things, I think again Margaret does a lot of videos about merch, and she was talking about while the election was going on, there were phrases and there were sayings and things that people were bandying about.
And strong and stable.
Yeah, and Trump quotes and stuff like this that were selling, but they might sell by the bucket load for 2 or 3 weeks, and then nobody cares. So it's about finding that market. And
but you don't care either, because it's not like you've put in a ton of
there's no investment.
There's no investment apart from the time that again the usual what we said, tapping into.
Whereas, like I was chatting with I instantly forgot Darren just before. If you try to tap into that market and you are a T-shirt manufacturer, you've got to think, how many am I going to sell? It's a huge gamble. Do you want to invest a couple of £100 in printing a load of T-shirts where you might sell none? With merch, you can experiment. You can put out a design you think nobody's going to buy this.
If I did it, I'd just do a range of coffee and fried chicken ones for fans of coffee and fried chicken. But I don't know how many fans of coffee and fried chicken there are. Not together. I mean, do them separately.
Amazon's
I just have coffee on the front and fried chicken on the back. Then
you've got to think Amazon's reach in America is massive. How many tens of millions of accounts do they have?
Yeah,
so
it's a different world to over here.
Going hyper niche is the way, I think. Target that tiny little sector, which might only be 1,000 people. But if you get all of those, that's a big T-shirt. I don't know what I'm like.
If you don't try, if you don't try, you don't know. It's simple as that. And clearly there are people having success with it. So
exactly. And don't listen to me because I've sold 0 shirts on merch.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's see what we've got. Oh, it's 5 to 7. That's cool.
Southwest Sellers has Austin more question to people in the chat. People in the chat. Okay, about printing labels. And another question. Southwest Sellers has a question. One of our local car boots charges £7 for getting in early. They changed the rules a few weeks ago, and they have to wait for the car boots to officially open before they can leave. The early birds were not happy. Oh, okay.
They have to wait for the car boots to officially open before they can leave. I don't get that bit.
Yeah. The early birds were not happy.
I went to a new one at the weekend. Well, it's actually been running for a long time, and we went to it when it was becoming established way back when, like 10, 15 years ago, and it was really small and it was a bit pathetic. I went back to it at the weekend, and it has really grown into a substantial thing, and it was really good. And what they did there was they let all the cars come in, and they were super strict on allowing people to get the stuff out of their car. So us as buyers, there was buyers milling around everywhere, and everyone was standing waiting for whatever time it was, 10 o'clock, I think. And then on that time, everyone put their stuff out, and that worked so well because it was just depended on where you were at that time, and you just started looking. So it's rather than that the car comes in and it opens up and sets up, so you've got a gaggle of resellers jumping in the back of your car.
I do have to say I prefer the car boots where they actually allow everyone to set up and then let the buyers in. So the buyers queue. So then it is literally a free for all, but everything's out on the table. Everything's there, and then you can just zoom through.
This worked fine because we were all just milling around, and then all of a sudden everyone puts their stuff out, and we just started looking wherever we were. It was great.
Right. Primark sell a lot of meme and internet viral term T-shirts like on fleek. They sell them for so cheap they can have them made for a penny or something stupid like that, says Liv. See, Primark have already got on fleek. Man. I'm so out of touch. I only found out about that this week, and I've been annoying the kids saying it. So I only just found that, and I'm sure that's ancient news anyway on Fleek. But I just thought it was fantastic.
Adrian just asked in there, how's Sean Longley? That's interesting because I think he might be back on YouTube. He took a lot of time out and he's not been talking to me, so I don't know how he is. But yeah, I did see that he put a video out, so he might be back. Don't know. The Omni boot sale, this is Richard Payne. The Omni boot sale in Edinburgh, you can't start selling until a set time, 8 AM last time I was there. Yeah, that seemed to work well at this one I was at the other day. Why does Lisa hate Peppa Pig? What's Peppa Pig done?
Oh, I see. Yeah, she's not heard a word of the chat because her granddaughter has made me draw Peppa Pig's house, and every friend of Peppa Pig. So she's been.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Yeah.
Oh, Darren says about the t-shirts again. My niche market is geeky t-shirts and personalized kids t-shirts, by the way. Yeah, cool. Quite a while back when we were thinking of getting, when we were looking at opening the clothing shop that we did, at that point, we almost bought a t-shirt setup and became t-shirt printers, which I'd still love to do maybe at some point, but you can only do so many things well. And I'm not sure I really do this very well. So yeah, you have to concentrate on a couple of things at most, for me at least. Okay. So here you need to make a vital video, or maybe a viral video, that should say, about chicken and coffee. And
then market it.
Every parent hates Peppa Pig. I don't mind Peppa Pig. I find them quite funny. Question, Nick, is it just adult t-shirts? I don't know if they do kids sizes on merch. We literally signed into our account today and tried to figure it out. I don't know. Margaret is your expert to go to on merch stuff. Krillin, Nick, do you ever source merch in Europe? If you mean stock, I've not gone across the channel to France looking for stock, as I know some people have. Tom was doing it not long ago, wasn't he? He went over there. I think he's got family over there. But yeah. No, there's more than enough in the UK for me.
I suppose if you're looking at certain types of antiques or collectibles, you know, then it may be the only place if they offer things that you can't get over here. But the kind of stuff we sell is, you know, it's plenty.
Chelsea says yes, it does kids as well.
Oh, so okay.
Looks like you can do kids shirts on merch. See, that's cool. There's so much potential with kids shirts, isn't there?
Would be, definitely. Well, I mean, you guys did well when you had your personalized shirts for Hitchin, didn't you?
Well, because they were so localized. Yeah. Because we were selling I Love Hitchin shirts in a shop in Hitchin, you can't fail but sell them. But whether that would translate to online,
no, I don't know.
Because we were doing made in Hitchin shirts for kids, as in they were conceived in Hitchin.
Yeah.
And I guess you could roll that idea out for something like merch and do made in anywhere, couldn't you? Made in Swansea, made in Derby, made in New York, whatever. But I just don't know. Darren saying kids t-shirts are my biggest seller. So can you answer me, Darren? Do you print them yourself and hold the stock and ship them out? Are you doing it that way? Made in the back of a Capri. Yeah, see, there's a great t-shirt. And made in the 80s, made in the 90s. Simple, but, you know, I'd buy it.
Was the England match on, is it?
I don't know. Okay. Nick, are you watching the England match? Oh, Well, clearly not.
I know they had a disastrous. I watched that. Oh, it's on France versus England at 8 o'clock. Fantastic. Evenings entertainment sorted.
8 o'clock.
France.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm already preparing myself because they were just as atrocious as normal. Everyone gets so excited and builds it up to have a draw against Scotland. I just don't care what excuses you make. It just, I just don't know.
Are these qualifiers?
Yeah, for the World Cup
World
in Russia, I think.
Wow,
Next year.
that would be so cool. Austin Morse says, I'm always asked how I make money on eBay, and most people say to me, I don't have the money to start, so I was thinking of starting with £30, as most people could raise that. You don't need much money to start out on eBay. I really think you don't. eBay themselves have that little advert they run where they say in the average UK household, there's, what do they say? £1,000 worth of unwanted stuff or
It was
something?
more than that. It was like 3 or 4. Oh, tonight's game's just a friendly. People just put in the chat.
What's a friendly?
They'll probably play well in a friendly then, because that's what they do. And then anything with any semblance of importance, oh gosh, it's just cool. They make me rage so much. God.
Oh, what was I saying? I've completely lost.
Sorry, £4,000. That's it. Everyone says £4,000. Yeah, the average amount of tat in people's houses.
So let's say that's over egging it a bit, and there's £1,000 worth of unused or unwanted stuff in your own house. There's your starting capital, isn't it? Go through your house, be brutal, and say, do I use this? Do I want this? When was the last time I watched this DVD? And then build a heap of stuff, and that's your starting point. And let's say you get £1,000 for it, reinvest that in stock that you're going to hope to get 5 or 10 times back, and you can see how quickly you've created a business potentially. But disclaimer, this isn't easy.
Yeah, I just have to put that out there, really, don't you? Just to.
Well, people accuse some of us YouTubers of making this look easy. It's not. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of man hours, and it's not for everybody. This is why I think a lot of people come into reselling and dip out again. A lot of people, even the YouTube channels, we see them appear all guns blazing. Yeah, this is amazing. I'm making X, Y, and Z, and then they just vanish.
But I also think that even if you go out and make content showing when it's bad, like we have done, it clearly doesn't reach many people, because I suppose people want to see the positive. People don't want to see the negative side of things. They don't want to hear that it can be hard. They want to hear that it can work for them, and they can at some point leave their jobs and do it for a full-time living, which is what we all want. But it's how bad you want it, and how much stress are you willing to take to get there, because in early doors especially, there is a lot of stress. I mean, there's a ton of stress. Like at the moment, one of the biggest stresses in our house is, about, Beck's job. Ideally, we'd love to be able to, but we're just not there. We've not built the business up enough to sustain that. And, things like that. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I might do a separate video on the very question that I get asked quite a lot. I get messages through Facebook asking me, people will say, can I earn a living? Well, first of all, they ask me, how much do I make? And then it's, can I make that? Can I do it? And I just throw the question straight back and say, I don't know what you can achieve. And just because I do it doesn't mean that's what you could do. It comes down to your own work ethic, your own, can you think outside the box? Can you generate income? I don't know. It's not as simple as somebody's doing this here, so I'm just going to copy that and do it. But that's a whole other video. I did see that I got a reply from Darren. He said he makes his t-shirts to order, basically. Yeah, he does personalized ones and stuff, and he makes them as the orders come in. So that's a cool setup. So in that sense, he's not invested in a lot of stock, and it can react to trends and changes quite quick. Cool.
Hillsman, you're not being ignored. I just saw that comment. You're not being ignored. It's just sometimes we struggle to keep up with the chat. Let me just scroll back and see if I can find.
It's difficult, sorry, to have a conversation and read this.
The question, I found the question actually. Do watches actually mean anything, or are they just time wasters? Bit of both, really. Some people just watch things because they might have the same item as you and they want to see what you sell it for. Some people might genuinely be interested in it and then forget to actually buy it. I've done that. If you're talking specifically about buy it now items, I'm guessing people just want to see what it sells for if they've got the same item, or yeah, they're interested.
Yeah, a lot of watches will not end up in the sale. I tell you what I do when I'm going to buy a specific thing. I'll browse eBay and I will watch a load of them, and then I'll go back and compare. And quite often I then buy the one I want, and quite often I forget to delete the others out of my watch thing. So it could be a bit of that. People,
I think it can. I also feel that it can be used as a guide to see whether you're on the money when it comes to price. You'll find that if you've got, like, I've got items which I think are quite desirable, like popular, or / in demand is probably the best thing. I've got some stuff that's in demand or on demand. In demand, not on demand, in demand. Yes, I've got items that are in demand, but because my pricing is probably a bit on the high side, I'm picking up stacks of watches. I've got 20 plus watches on these items, tons and tons of page views. No one is biting the bullet because they're probably waiting for it to be lowered in price. They're probably just waiting for it to come down to a price that they feel is right for the item. So I think that can sometimes be the case.
There's lots of reasons, but if you're getting quite a lot of watches on an item, it's a positive. It means there's interest in it. It's an item that's attracting interest, which is only a positive thing. I just wanted to go back to Austin Moore, the question about the £30, starting off with £30. He says, the question was, could I get a plug if I started a series of videos about buying to sell and start with a new account and £30? If you want to make some videos and start that little journey with £30, then yeah, I'll give you a shout out. I'd be intrigued to see how you get on. Yes, sounds good. Make the video and drop me a message.
Adrian Wood says, do you think your YouTube followers are watchers? In some cases, definitely.
Well, with the Atari cart, most definitely. We got up to, I can't remember, 1,000 odd watches.
That's insane.
No, I'm never going to repeat those numbers. That it had, tens of thousands of views, that listing. Amazing stuff.
Okay, it's 7:10 now. So yeah,
we shall wrap up. It's all too easy to go. Whoa, we've just got some super chat donation. Krillin876 has just put $5 in the chat. First time ever. Thanks, Krillin. That is awesome. Appreciate that. Wow. Yeah, because I switched that on a couple of weeks ago. I didn't really know quite what it meant. But there you go.
That's epic. That is pretty epic.
Thank you so much, man. I'm glad we kept going for the extra 10 minutes now.
I'm going now. I'm not staying on just so you can get more super chats.
Excellent. I really appreciate that. Thanks for the thought. So yeah, thanks for joining us. We got, I don't know where we peaked today, but we're currently at 150 viewers that have stuck around to watch us to talk about Tat. So really appreciate that. As ever, if you do enjoy it, give us a thumbs up. If you don't, why did you stick around?
But smash the like button anyway.
Yeah, give us a smash. And thanks again for that super chat. That just blew my mind. That's amazing. And thanks to Here for taking time out of your day to chat with me. We are back on Sunday. Actually, we can't do Sunday because we're going to a gig. So we're thinking we're going to move it to Saturday. So our Sunday show may be coming on a Saturday. I will confirm that on my Facebook page and in the UK Reseller group. Until then, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Thanks for here, and we'll speak to you guys soon.
All right.
Cheers, guys. Bye.